Hello, welcome back to Nanashi Academy. Today we are going to learn an English poem, Amanda by Robin Plain. Robin McMacLean is an Australian author of books for children. She was born on 28 February 1936 in Kempsey, New South Wales, Australia, and now resides near Melbourne. She is awarded with Dronkin Medal and Grammy Award for Best Music Film. Now poem, Amanda. Don't bite your nails, Amanda. Don't hunch your shoulder, Amanda. Stop that slouching and sit up straight, Amanda. Now Amanda is thinking. There is a languid emerald sea where the sole inhabitant is me, a mermaid drifting blissfully. Did you finish your homework, Amanda? Did you tidy your room, Amanda? I thought I told you to clean your shoes, Amanda. Again, Amanda is thinking, I am an orphan roaming the street. I pattern soft dust with my husked bare feet. The silence is golden, the freedom is sweet. Don't eat that chocolate, Amanda. Remember your acne, Amanda. Will you please look at me when I am speaking to you, Amanda? I am Rapunzel. I have not a care. Life in a tower is tranquil and rare. I will certainly never let down my bright hair. Stop that sulking at once, Amanda. You are always so moody, Amanda. Anyone would think that I nagged at you, Amanda. New words in this poem are hunch means bend, slouching means sitting in a lazy way, languid means relaxed, emerald means hair green color, inhabitant means resident, drifting means carried slowly by the water, blissfully means happily, orphan means a child whose parents are dead, hushed means a quiet and still place, acne means pimples, Rapunzel means a girl in the fairy tale by Brother Grimm, tranquil means calm and quiet, rare means uncommon, sulking means be in a bad mood, moody means unstable, nagged means harass. Now poem is don't bite your nails, Amanda. Don't hunch your shoulder, Amanda. Stop that slouching, that sit up straight, Amanda. In the first stanza, the poet is describing a little girl named Amanda who is pointed out by her mother for her mistake. The mother is pointing out Amanda for biting nails. That is a bad habit. She asks her to sit straight without bending her shoulder. Amanda has the habit of bending her shoulder and sitting lazily. But her mother wants her to sit in the right posture. Hence, her mother scolds her for doing wrong things like biting nails, bending shoulder while sitting, etc. Now, next paragraph is in parenthesis. It means Amanda is thinking. There is a languid emerald sea where the sole inhabitant is me, a mermaid drifting blissfully. In the second stanza, when Amanda is being scolded by her mother, she imagines herself to be in a deep green sea. She says that she wants to be the only resident of this beautiful green sea. She imagines herself like a mermaid, a fictional water animal with face of a girl and body of a fish, who is alone there and leads her life in a very relaxing way. She says that she wants to be slowly carried away by the water current and feel a peaceful environment there. Little Amanda does not like the real world. She imagines herself to be a mermaid living alone in the vast and silent sea and moving here and there without any restriction. Now, literary device. First one is rhyme. The rhyme scheme is A B A C C C. Second is anaphora, repeated use of a word at the start of two or more lines. Line first and line second start with don't bite, don't hunt. Third is assonance, use of vowel sound O, line 3. Don't hunch your shoulders. Fourth is metaphor, use of word emerald sea for green color of sea, being similar to the color of emerald. Fifth is repetition, use of word Amanda. Sixth is imagery, drifting blissfully. Now Next stanza. Did you finish your homework, Amanda? Did you tidy your room, Amanda? I thought I told you to clean your shoes, Amanda. In the third stanza, the poet says that Amanda's mother is asking her about whether she has done her homework or not, whether she has cleaned her room or not. Further, she is also reminded to clean her shoes. So here we can see that the mother is constantly asking her question regarding her homework being done or not, or whether she had cleaned up her room and shoes or not. Now Amanda is thinking, I am an orphan roaming the street. I pattern soft dust with my hushed bare feet. The silence is golden, the freedom is sweet. In the fourth stanza, Amanda is listening to her mother's instructions. She is frustrated and imagines herself to be an orphan who is roaming freely in the street. She would have drawn design on the soft dust with her uncovered feet very gently. So we can see that she thinks opposite to her mother. Her mother wants her to keep everything neat and clean, but Amanda wants to play in dust with her bare feet. She is so fed up of these constant instructions from her mother that she says silence is golden. It means that silence is very crucial and precious. She thinks that freedom is sweet. Now literary device. First rhyme scheme. Rhyme scheme is A-A-D-A-E-E-E. Second is anaphora, repeated use of a word at the start of two or more lines. Did you finish? Did you tidy? Third is assonance, use of vowel sound O in line 3. Thought, told, you, your shoes. Fourth is repetition, use of word Amanda. Fifth is metaphor, silence is golden. Silence is said to be glorious like golden color. Freedom is sweet. Freedom is said to be sweet in taste. Next stanza. Don't eat that chocolate, Amanda. Remember your acne, Amanda. Will you please look at me when I am speaking to you, Amanda? In the fifth stanza, Amanda's mother is not allowing her to eat chocolates. She reminds her of pimples that Amanda faced due to eating chocolates. At last, she scolds her for not paying attention to what her mother says. Amanda is still lost in her own thoughts and does not care enough to look up to her scolding. This carelessness further angers her mother and she asks for her attention when she is being scolded. Now Amanda thinking, I am Rapunzel. I have not a care. Life in a tower is tranquil and red. I will certainly never let down my bright hair. In the sixth stanza, Amanda imagines herself to be Rapunzel. Rapunzel was a character from a fairy tale that was captured in tower by a witch. The witch used to climb the tower with the help of long hair of Rapunzel that were let down by her through the window. So now Amanda wants to be Rapunzel because she feels that life in the tower will be peaceful. She thinks that she will be free and live in a peaceful environment in the tower. She also confirms to herself that she will never let her hair down to anyone so that nobody could come to her in the tower. Amanda wanted to live as a free and happy person. Now literary device. First one, rhyme scheme. Rhyme scheme is A-A-F-A-G-G-G. Second is allusion, use of famous fairy tale character Rapunzel. Third is assonance, use of vowel sound E and O. Line 3, will you please look at me when I am speaking to you? Fourth is consonance, use of sound R. In line, I am Rapunzel, I have not a care, bright hair. Fifth is repetition, use of word Amanda. Now, last stanza of the poem. Stop that sulking at once, Amanda. You are always so moody, Amanda. Anyone would think that I nagged at you, Amanda. In the last stanza, Amanda's mother warns her for behaving in a very odd manner. She asks her to stop being in a bad mood. She further blames little Amanda for being moody and angry all the time. She also scolds her by saying that her behavior will one day make people think that Amanda was constantly being harassed by her mother. The poem ends. It looks like after being repeatedly scolded, Amanda stopped imagining. She has made a habit of listening to the painful words every day. Now literary device. First one, rhyme scheme. Rhyme scheme is A-H-A. Alliteration. Stop that sulking. S sound is repeated at the start of closely placed words. Third is repetition. Use of Amanda. Now summary of the poem. The poem describes a girl named Amanda and her mother who is nagging her for her mistakes. She is pointed out by her mother for biting her nails and for not sitting in the right posture. Through this, Amanda imagines herself as a mermaid who lives a peaceful and relaxing life in the beautiful green sea. Again, her mother nagged her for not doing her homework and also for not cleaning her room and shoes. She then imagines herself to be an orphan because she is frustrated from her mother's instructions. She wants to enjoy her freedom by making the design of her bare feet on the sand and would live a peaceful life. Further, Amanda is scolded for eating too many chocolates as this causes pimples. She is also scolded for not listening to her mother. So now Amanda thinks of being Rapunzel, a character from a fairy tale, and wants to live in a huge tower like her. In the tower, she will be alone and will live a peaceful life and will never allow anyone to come in. Finally, the mother asks her to stop being moody because she does not want anyone to blame her for harassing her daughter. At this time, the poet has not written any reaction from Amanda's side. This constant nagging has made her so sad that she has even stopped to imagine herself as someone else. She used to do so in order to escape from the continuous harassment and dominance of her parents. Now, theme of the poem. The main theme of the poem is the upbringing of a small child, Amanda. It highlights the struggles faced by the child. Poet makes an important point that a child should never be denied freedom, though it is parents who are responsible for proper upbringing of their child, but that should not make a child feel trapped. Here, Amanda is prepared to be acceptable in society, and this training needs her freedom to be cut short. Her imagination is not given enough space. It makes her so angry that she wishes to be an orphan. The continuous nagging has made her moody. One cannot just force a child to be civilized and good mannered. Love and proper care is required in nurturing of a child. Now, question and answer from NCERT book. First one. How old do you think Amanda is? How do you know this? Answer to this question is Amanda age could be between 10 to 12-year-old. We can guess this because of the reference to Mermaid or Rapunzel. These stories are read by the children of age group of 10 to 12 years. Second question is who do you think is speaking to her? Answer to this question is one of her parents is speaking to her. We thinking that probably it could be her mother. We think this because it is a general perception that children are taken care of by their mothers at home. Now third question. Why are stanza 2, 4 and 6 given in parentheses? Answer to this question is parenthesis is a remark that is added to a sentence often to provide an explanation. So in stanza 2, 4 and 6, parenthesis is used to explain the reaction of child Amanda toward her mother's continuous nagging. Now question number 4. Who is the speaker in stanza 2, 4 and 6? Do you think this speaker is listening to the speaker in stanza 1, 3, 5th and 7th? Answer to this question is The speaker in stanza 2, 4 and 6 is Amanda. No, she is not paying any attention to what her mother says. She is lost in her own thoughts. She imagines herself as a mermaid, an orphan, and Rapunzel. Next question is, what could Amanda do if she were a mermaid? Answer to this question is, the little girl Amanda wants to be a mermaid and the only inhabitant of the beautiful green sea. She thinks that her life will be very peaceful in the sea and she will be taken away with the current of water. She will be able to enjoy her freedom. Next question, is Amanda an orphan? Why does she say so? Answer to this question is no, Amanda is not an orphan, as she is constantly being pointed out by her mother in the poem. She said so because she is sad and depressed because of the continuous scolding and nagging which she faced because of her mother. Therefore, she feels that it would have been much better and peaceful if she would have been an orphan. Now, next question. Do you know the story of Rapunzel? Why does she want to be Rapunzel? Answer to this question is, the story of Rapunzel is of a girl who is captured by an old witch in a tower. The old witch climbs up the tower with the help of Rapunzel's very long golden hair, which she lets down for her through a window of the tower. One day, Prince visits her by climbing the tower with the help of her long hair. When the witch came to know this, she separated both of them. But both Rapunzel and Prince meet after a gap of many years and then live their life happily. Amanda wants to be Rapunzel because she knew that in the story there was no way to enter the tower. It was only possible with the help of Rapunzel's long hair that she would let down to help others to climb. Amanda feels that life in the tower will be very calm and peaceful. She makes a point to never let her hair down for anyone as she does not want to get disturbed by anyone. Now next question. What does the girl yearn for? What does this poem tell you about Amanda? Answer to this question is, the girl Amanda yearns for freedom and peace in her life. She is constantly reminded of her mistakes. Her parents want her to follow the code of conduct of good behavior. They are doing so because they want their child to be well mannered and obedient. But while doing this, they forget that she is a child and should be allowed some freedom. The poet has drawn the reader's attention toward the condition of children who are constantly oppressed by their elders in the name of good behavior. Next question. Do you think Amanda is sulking and is moody? Answer to this question is, in our sense, Amanda is not moody. She feels oppressed because of her mother's constant nagging. She does not want to be pointed out for such small things like cleaning the room, sitting straight, cleaning her shoes, completing her homework, etc. She feels that she is not free and is under a constant pressure of trying to be a well-behaved girl as per her parents' demand. Now, thanks for watching this video. Please don't forget to subscribe the channel, like and share the video. Bye bye.